Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk.
$5 Tuesday, Dinger Tuesday. The best Tuesday of the week is now. And we got Jesse Shule. He's coming on. He's talking Stanley Cup. Game 4. What are we seeing in that? Where does he think we should be going? Honestly, with Jesse, what's the team to fade? We'll do NBA Finals Game 4. We'll obviously talk about what we saw yesterday. Steve Merrill has 2 MLB plays for you. But Andy, we're 30 seconds into the show. That's 30 seconds too long for the Wager Talk Today play of the day. We're sticking with the Diamond Brother, looking for a win here to start the week with a loss that we had yesterday. We're looking towards a player prop, though. So what are we looking at, Andy?
I am fully prepared to be gotten by the books on this one, but this line doesn't make any sense. It's the under 4.5 strikeouts for Trevor Rogers, and it's plus money, and I don't get it, Dan. This guy has gone 6 straight games with 3 or fewer strikeouts, and yet they're hanging 4.5, and the under's plus money. The opponent, Seattle, they just don't strike out that much. 7.6 Ks per game the last 3. I'm fully prepared to look like a fool here. I'm fully prepared to admit that the books got one over on me. But I just can't ignore the plus money on under 4.5 strikeouts on a pitcher that's not that great. And even when he goes deeper into games, even when he goes like 18 outs, he's still not getting over this number. Got to do it. Got to do it. It's going to be the play of the day. Trevor Rogers under 4.5 strikeouts at plus money. But it's almost like the books know what's getting ready to happen when he comes out and throws 8, strikeouts. But it's got to be the play of the day, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, if we get got, we get got. You know what I mean? But that number is just too nice. And the fact we're getting it at plus money too, yes, we got to go under with Trevor Rogers. Comment below. Let us know what you are betting for your play of the day. Andy, I know we're coming off a little bit of a rough night last night. We'll circle back. We'll talk about that. But right now, let's get our minds in the right frame place. Let's get amped up.
Are you not entertained?
They love it when I turn up the bass.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, man, $5 Tuesday. We are coming off a 5% loss yesterday on Landry Shamet. He had the shot attempts, he had the minutes, everything was there. He just had a horrific shooting night. So what can you do? A guy goes 1 for 8 from the field and you have over 8.5 points. So I was pleased with the minutes. I was pleased with the attempts and the usage. He just had a bad shooting night. So all access clients had a mediocre night. I believe we split on all those plays, but the 5% did go down. But we move on to $5 Tuesday. We got 3 plays that are up. I'll tell you about those. We went 3-0 last $5 Tuesday play, so I am super, super excited. And we got to talk to a guy that I know has a $5 play up. And according to the comments in his breakdown video, he's old and over the hill and just has no idea what he's talking about. Jesse Shule continues.
Yeah, they were telling me the Spurs are too young. Get off. You're losing it, old man. All this stuff, and it was entertaining to go through all the comments this morning.
Well, what was your thoughts on last night's game? I thought it was an incredible watch.
So the Spurs are now 7-0 straight up and 7-0 against the spread in the first quarter when coming off of a loss. And I had given the client, or not the clients, I had given the free viewers on the free play videos on WagerTalk TV the first quarter and the first half and the first 2 games. So I was batting 1,000, and they're still telling me that I'm old and stupid and don't know what I'm talking about. And not only that, they were angry with me that I bet the Spurs and won by betting on the wrong, quote unquote, wrong team. So I was having a lot of fun with the commenters.
Well, I mean, I can't believe the Spurs marched into Madison Square Garden and did that. I mean, that team's just got assassins on that team. Like they're really, Wemby's an assassin. Castle Harper, these guys just have absolutely no fear. So, you know what? Let's talk about the next. Let's talk about the look ahead, Jesse. You called this one. Let's just get right into the NBA. What are we looking for in Game 4? New York, ever so slight favorite, over under 216.5, or do we just? I mean, I put in our Discord that the Spurs first quarter just is putting kids through college at this point. So I don't know if you're just going right back to that one or what your breakdown on this game.
Yeah, I like those first quarter bets coming off of a loss. So I'd almost be more inclined to take the Knicks for the first quarter, but that's not what I'm looking at. I like Spurs futures. I just think first of all, the first two games of this series were not blowouts. It's not like New York had completely outclassed the Spurs. And I think that's the way it was being represented heading into Game 3. It's over. They're up 2-0. This is all just a formality. I just didn't see it that way. It was two close games. It could have gone either way. The Spurs could have easily been up 2-0 heading back to New York. That said, prior to Game 3, I said I expected the referees to heavily lean Spurs in the game because we know the NBA, one thing they don't want is a short series. We were talking about ticket prices before we went live here, and ticket prices for Game 6 are going to be through the roof. They want to make sure there's going to be a Game 6 back in New York. So I was not surprised. And Mike Brown said after the game in the post-game presser, I never thought I would see the day of such a disparity in the NBA Finals. So by his comments, we now know that Mike Brown does not watch the NBA playoffs. He doesn't have any social media accounts. He did not watch the Western Conference Finals. He didn't watch the Eastern Conference semifinals, because I will point out to Mike Brown that Oklahoma City had 28 second-half free throw attempts in Game 4 of last year's NBA Finals, and I know that because I was on Indiana with 11-1 odds to win Game 1 and win the series, and if they had a won Game 4, I would have cashed that ticket. And Scott Foster came in, and we saw what we saw, which is what we expect to see these days. If you watch the NBA, if you know your NBA, you know the equalizer, you know the extender. People will say I'm crazy, but crazy like a fox is what I say. Eastern Conference semifinals this year, the Cavaliers had an edge in the series of free throws, 244 to 157. That's an average margin of almost 12.5 free throw disparity per game in a 7-game series. So for Mike Brown to be complaining about the minimal disparity in Game 3, I think he's lost the plot. But I don't expect to see the refs tilt heavily for San Antonio in Game 4. It's going to be I expect to see another close game. You got to love Wemby, 32 points, 11 of 18 from the field, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. I would have liked to have seen more than 8 rebounds, but as you guys were saying, this young team appears to be playing beyond their years. And heading into Game 3, people were saying they're a year or two away. Well, did you watch Game 7 of the Western Conference Final? Have you watched them throughout? Did you see them in Game 3 on the road in Madison Square Garden? I wouldn't step in front of this team. I think grab yourself some Spurs futures while you're still getting the big plus money. That's my opinion for the rest of this series.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. I stick to player props, but I'm fascinated by the Spurs team. I can't believe these young guys.
One more thing. The Knicks won 13 straight games, right? They had that roll, and you got to wonder, after a 13-game winning streak ends, what happens? Is it like the clock strikes midnight, the carriage turns into a pumpkin? I think that's a serious question that Knicks fans should worry about. At the end of the day, they were shooting over 50% from the field, over 40% from beyond the arc in this entire playoffs. That's just not sustainable. We know it's not sustainable. We know that in the regular season, they shot, 47.8%. They were 11th in field goal percentage. They were 4th in three-point percentage. But to expect them to outperform their regular season numbers in the playoffs, where it's harder to get those looks, that just can't last forever. And now that it's come to a grinding halt, you're just going to turn the tap back on. It's just not that easy sometimes.
It's like when the Russian gets cut in Rocket. Oh, the Russian is cut, and then it just goes off the rails. I thought the same thing too. I was like, oh, What if they just like what if this is when it all comes crashing down? And for everyone that said this is what New York Knicks do, it's kind of what the New York Knicks historically have done. We'll see. This is such a huge game coming up. I can't wait. So we got to talk about the NHL. We got Hurricanes and Golden Knights. Fascinating series. That game on Saturday was truly insane. I was doing a live show watching UFC, and we ended up paying more attention to the hockey game that was just going off the rails here. We've got 2 overtime games in a row. We got the Golden Knights who are up 2-0, and this is just a straight pick 'em over under at 6. What do you make of Hurricanes and Golden Knights?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things to complain about in the world today, but thankfully the NHL finals and the NBA finals have delivered, because that was a cracking game, game 3 in Vegas. And I had Carolina's team total over in that game. The total sits at 6 for this game. It was 5.5 at most books for game 3. I don't know how you can trust either goaltender in this series. Freddie Anderson allowed 12 goals on 65 shots in the first 3 games of this series. He was pulled from game 3 after allowing 4 goals in the second period. And they bring in Brandon Bussey, 31-6 record, 2.47 goals against average in the regular season. He was basically their number 1 goaltender in the regular season. And those are some pretty solid numbers. But I got to tell you, his save percentage of .895 ranks 33rd in the NHL, which means he's basically got the numbers of a average to below average backup goaltender. And that's the problem with Carolina, is they have such a great defense. They limit the shots, and they shut down games, make them low-scoring defensive games. Well, that's just not working against this Vegas Golden Knights team that has Mitch Marner leads the playoffs in scoring with 28 points. He scores a hat trick in game 3. If you look at the leaderboards for points in the playoffs, it's just like the entire roster of the Vegas Golden Knights. They're flying. I don't see us stopping them, which means they can't lean on what they do the best, just limiting shots and shutting down the other team. I'm not stepping in front of Vegas here in this game. Another thing I like is Carter Hart. Yeah, he allowed 3 goals in 39 seconds in game 3. He's done that twice in the last 2 games. He allowed 3 goals in 5 minutes in game 2. But John Tortorella doesn't even think twice about who his number 1 goalie is. He keeps on rolling him out there, keeps him in the net, lets him figure it out. And he, for the most part, Carter Hart has been fantastic, aside from those few instances where he's lost concentration, or if you can actually blame those bursts of scoring on him, which may or may not be able to blame him. But regardless, the Golden Knights are 6-1 in their last 7 home games. They're 8-1 in their last 9 overall. No way I'm stepping in front of them. Vegas Golden Knights team total over 2.5 tonight. And it's pricey. And I know people will complain to me how pricey it is. Well, they've gone over their team total of 2.5 in 10 of their last 11 games. So priced at -160, -170. If they're going to hit that 10 of 11 times, sign me up.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. Mark wants to know what effect is coming off of a double overtime and 2 overtime games going to have. My opinion, nothing. NHL players are just a different breed. They're just built different.
It might be a conservative start. Like if you're looking at the total, a lot of people are like, "Oh, go under off of a double overtime." I've heard that take. I think the better take would be go under in the first period. Also, with the potential for Carolina to start a backup goaltender, I often like under in the first period when one team's made a goalie change, because they then have to protect that goaltender, right? They want to really be conservative and make sure that that goalie doesn't get chased from the net early. So it might be a play on the under for the first period.
Yeah, 2 straight games gone under. They had 3. I think they had 3 goals in the first period in game 1, and then the under 1.5 was hit, and you're getting a great price. It's like -110. It's like a perfectly fair price. So, Jesse, what do you have up for $5 Tuesday? Then I want to bring in Dan and have you guys talk a little World Cup right around the corner.
Sounds good. Well, my play for $5 Tuesday is going to be very familiar if you tuned into Wager Talk today, because it's a play on the hockey game. So yeah, and you can feel free to guess as to what it might be. It might be the same play I just gave out on the show.
I like it.
You might
Just
be
they
able to
can
save
guess,
yourself-
but
you might be able to save yourself $5.
But if they want to be sure and not read the subtext, they can grab it for $5 over at Jesse's page, wt.buzz/.
I mean, you'd feel awful stupid if you didn't pay the $5 and found out it wasn't.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, all joking aside, whether you want to take advantage of that $5 play, which the astute listeners already know here, there's great other deals that you can grab over at Jesse's page. You can get action set you up as football's kicking off. Jesse's in action in all kinds of leagues. And Jesse, World Cup, it truly begins this Thursday with Group A kicking off. We got 2 games Thursday night. So, Jesse, as we head into the World Cup, I'll ask you, because you love the commenters and the commenters love you. Yesterday on the show, I didn't want to just, we were talking World Cup winners, things like that. And whenever I'm talking World Cup winners, I don't like going to the top of the odds board. I mean, for what it's worth, in the modern era, the favorite pre-flop in the tournament has only won 3 times. So I'm not crossing France off the list. Sure, they have the talent to do this, but I don't want to bet a future that's plus 500, plus 650. I mean, you've talked about this. You were the one who gave out the Spurs to win the West a while ago when they were near 9-1. So on yesterday's show, I gave out my dark horse was Colombia at around a 35-1, a 40-1 price. I like this team a lot heading into the tournament. And one of the comments, Jesse, was I need to stop taking drugs. And while that might be true, I still do like Colombia's shot in this tournament. So any long shots that stand out to you, and as we head towards the World Cup, what are you looking to fire on as games are just 2 days away now?
Switzerland's got a pretty good team, and I don't know. I haven't even looked at the odds on Switzerland, but I do know that
80-1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go a little bit further than people would expect them to. They've been very good in recent tournaments, but the one thing that catches my eye about the World Cup is we have 3 host nations here. We got Mexico, we got Canada, we got the United States, and I think maybe lost to some people would be the success of host nations in their first match of the World Cup. The all-time record for host nations in the World Cup is 16 wins, 5 draws, and 1 loss. And the only loss was Qatar in the last World Cup. And Qatar is not a strong side. We know that. But I think this bodes well for the United States, for Canada, and for Mexico. And Mexico, I actually like one of the futures I like, and I haven't bet on it yet, but it'll probably make my premium card, is Mexico to win Group A. I really like their home field advantage. They play in a stadium called Estadio Azteca, and the USA plays there frequently. The USA's all-time record against Mexico at the Estadio Azteca, 0 wins, 4 draws, and 15 losses. And if you look into it, a few of those matches were suspended because fans were throwing beer bottles at the USA players, chanting homophobic slurs, bottles filled with urine being tossed at players. The Americans really don't like playing there. I don't think anybody is going to enjoy being a visitor at Estadio Azteca. So Mexico could be formidable at home in this tournament.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of the bets we gave out to clients, Andy, was Mexico to win Group A. Now, it's starting to dry up simply because they match up so well with the rest of this group. I did look, if you wanted to take these host nations and put them in a little parlay, the way I would suggest doing it is putting the tie no bet, the draw no bet in there, simply because it'll be no harm, no foul if you do have a draw. Because I think the fly in the ointment, if you take Mexico to win their first game, that's against South Africa. Take Canada to win their game, that's against Bosnia. I would love that play just straight up. You're looking at a great matchup for Canada in that one. The fly in the ointment for me is USA against Paraguay. I think Paraguay is a pretty damn good side, and USA is also a team that in this group play, when they play the tougher competition like this Paraguay side, they would be fine with a draw. And we've seen that USA can play for draws. So if you parlay those 3 together and add in the draw no bet or tie no bet stipulation, depending on what your book calls it, we're getting a nice plus 104 on the host nations to win game one, Jesse. We can take that trend that you have there and get a little no harm, no foul with the tie, no bet. What do you think about that little three-piece, man?
I agree 100%. I've thought about betting just all three host nations, but as you mentioned, I'm a little worried about the draw. What I expect to happen is I expect two of those host nations to win, and I don't know which one. I haven't decided which one I think is going to get the draw. You said it, USA. I think it could be Canada getting a draw.
True.
I don't like Mexico to get. I think I like Mexico to put belt to ass, actually.
I would go Mexico, honestly, on the Asian handicap line and lay a goal and a quarter, even maybe a goal and a half. I like Mexico a lot against South Africa. South Africa, I think, is overmatched in that group. So I'm with you, Jesse. I like this. We're going to get some World Cup talk with Jesse and I when we get Jesse here on the program. So appreciate you, man. Love breaking this stuff down for you. I like your dark horse as well. And comment below that Jesse should get off the drugs too, because it can't only be me, Jesse, and we can go to Karen together, my friend. So Jesse, always a pleasure, man. WT.buzz/JS is where you can find him at. You can drop below. Let us know your comments. Let's see. We got the team total over 1.5 for Mexico. I don't hate that. Seth says Brazil's boring at 9-1. Brazil is also a team who I would look at as one of the futures. How is 9-1 boring? We're so conditioned, Andy, that a 9-1 future on a team that's top 5 in the world is boring. That's tough.
Boring wins.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say with Jesse too, his thought towards Switzerland. I like their side. One thing you have to World Cup or handicap as we're here in the World Cup, Andy, is these teams like England, like Switzerland, playing in this climate where we are going to have some matches that are 80% humidity. You're going to have matches that are over 90 degrees. Teams like Switzerland and England, and this year, Germany, who a lot of people think of Germany as this like stalwart defensive side. They're so much younger. They're so much faster. Those are teams who I like early on, like to qualify. I like them to get through the round of 32, to get to the group of 16. However, I think legs are going to give out on teams like Switzerland, like Germany. That's why I like a lot of these South American teams, Andy, simply because, to quote Bane, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it.
Wow.
You merely adopted the climate. They were born in it and molded by it, Andy. So as you can tell, Jan and I have been researching and going deep, getting ready for the World Cup. You can get all of our best bets. WT.buzz/AL is where they will be at throughout the tournament.
All right, we got we can do Dinger Tuesday here in a bit. I'm kind of going over looking at these baseball lines, trying to figure out if there's much of a steam report, and there really isn't. I'm not seeing very much movement at all in any of these games. Nothing on the totals, nothing on the money line, so it seems to be pretty quiet out there. I guess the Yankees taking a little bit of money, but that's about it. So
I'm kind of seeing the same here, Andy. I feel like maybe the Sharps and the syndicates are just happy they finally got one on the Spurs. I think probably most of their movement is going with them continuing to bet on the Hurricanes. Yes, and that was a Bane quote. I got you, Jimmy. I got you, man. That's timely as always, Andy. You can never hate a Batman reference. But yeah, I'm seeing the same. Really not much crazy money. You're seeing we talked about that Seattle and Baltimore game, how we want to fade Rodgers. You're seeing some money for Seattle, but it's pro and Joe money. So, take that for what it's worth. But I'm not seeing anything that really stands out as, this is a sharp play jumping off the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Only sharp plays that are on the board are our $3 $5 Tuesday plays. Heyo. Go get those at W+/Al. Let's do Dinger Tuesday. We need some energy. We need to bring some energy to the show. We'll do Dinger Tuesday. Dan and I are getting.
You want Dinger Tuesdays, Andy? I'll show you mine. If you show me yours, it's Dinger Tuesday.
All right. I did not have a dinger last week, but I'm in love with mine, but I'll let you go first.
I will say too, folks, comment below after the video goes live. We gave it away last week. We had like multiple people hit their dingers in their dingers they showed us in the comments, which I'm very glad you cannot include pictures with your YouTube comments, Andy, or who knows what would end up down there. But on Dinger Tuesday, you comment below and let us know who you think is going to be hitting a home run. If you're right, we're going to give you something a little bit free, but you comment and include your WagerTalk username. That's the way to be entered in. Andy, I'm going with a guy who really hasn't had a great campaign here in 2026. I just think this is a really nice spot for him. And with Steve Merrill coming up here, we're going to talk about how the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The LA Dodgers are surprisingly an underdog. Doesn't happen much, and it takes Skeens going to the mound to do it. So we'll talk about the game specifically, but I'm going with Pittsburgh Pirates. I would hesitate to call him a slugger. Maybe a once slugger, Marcell Ozuna. I'm going Marcell Ozuna. He's over 5, let's call it like plus 510. So these are only $10 bets, by the way, folks. We are literally putting not even pizza money. You can barely get a slice of pizza in New York for $10, depending on what street you're in. But I'm going Marcell Ozuna. Here's the factor for me is, why are the Dodgers underdogs? It's because they have Eric Lauer heading to the mound, and this is a guy who's given up 13 home runs in 10 appearances. He's flip-flopped teams. He's been so bad. Blue Jays and Dodgers this season. He's coming in with a damn near 6 ERA. He doesn't keep the ball on the ground. It's going to be hot and humid in Pittsburgh today, and Ozuna against Lauer in his career, 6 for 11, 3 home runs, and he has 4 RBIs. This hasn't been Ozuna's year, but as far as a matchup that bodes well for Ozuna and a pitcher who I want to fade, I wanted to pick a guy on the Pirates lineup. I didn't want to go with some of the favorites. Give me plus 510 on Marcell Ozuna. That is my ding.
All right. Well, I am kind of taking the chalk. I got to go to this Brewers Athletics game in Las Vegas. The game yesterday had 11 home runs. 11 home runs.
Insane.
And, yeah, I'm going to go with Shane Langeliers. He had 7 at-bats yesterday. Batsley had 7 at-bats. He hit a home run yesterday. That's the handicap. They're playing in Las Vegas in this ballpark where the ball just goes flying out there. So give me the leadoff guy in this one. So that's my dinger. So and guys, after the show is over, make sure it's after the show is over. Put in the comment section who you think is going to hit a dinger. Show us your dinger. If you get it right, we're going to give you a free 3-day flex pass. But you have to leave your WagerTalk username.
Yes,
So,
or else you're not entered.
Pretty simple. So, Dinger Tuesday.
Andy, while we're hanging out for Steve, I want to address a comment that we had yesterday. And we won't go crazy in depth on this, but we had Jay who commented yesterday. And folks, hit that like button and subscribe. Steve Merrill going to be with us in just a few. We're going to talk some MLB games, also get his thoughts on Game 3. So keep those comments coming here. Jay asked one of the comments after the show, and I feel like this was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but he asked, so why doesn't WagerTalk offer a genuine, articulate, step-by-step mentorship to become a successful sports bettor and an all-in-one long video or video series? Andy, would you care to take the first crack at this? Because I have some thoughts as well.
Yes, you can't just do one little video to be a successful sports bettor. It takes years and years and years of just life lessons and, learning while on the job. I can't think of any industry where you can just watch a little video and become a successful sports bettor. This is one of the hardest jobs in the world. Like 99.5% of people do not make profit in this business. So just doing it in one video is next to impossible.
And for me, Andy, that is what WagerTalk is all about. Here's the thing about YouTube, is what it will always catch on YouTube as far as, getting eyes on our product, things like that, is giving out picks, right? People want picks. You will have those comments every now and then of, hey, I want some betting theory, things like that. And that is why, Andy, the viewers here of Wager Talk Today, especially, we do betting theory stuff. We do give you tools to become a better bettor. Yanni came on and said, I'm sucking right now. Here's what I do when I suck. Bill Krakenberger said the same thing. Hey, I'm in a horrible losing streak. Here's what I do. So if you're paying attention to these shows, we do give it to you. And then after talking about it for 15 minutes, we have 12 comments about, all right, get to the games today, right? So we are in a world and in an industry that everybody wants to get the fish. Very few want to be taught how to fish. And that's also what we do with WagerTalk.com. In addition to what we do here on the video side of things, every single day after the plays go, Andy, you can go to a handicapper's page, read their analysis. And you can read, here is how I arrived on this play, whether it wins, whether it loses. So we give you the tools and we give them to you for free. If you like what we do, that's where we ask you, hey, hop on board, get the lines before they move, become a client. So we do offer sports mentorship, but Andy, unfortunately, it's a business at the end of the day, right? And unfortunately, on the video side of things, we need to get clicks. We need to get views. And that's why we ask you, hit that like button and subscribe, folks.
Yeah. I mean, some of the least viewed videos that I did were about bankroll management. And they got so few views that Johnny told me to stop doing videos because it hurt the algorithm.
Exactly. But
that's a real thing that happened.
As Johnny says, go to our YouTube page, make sure you're subscribed, and we have a playlist that is just betting tips. How to bet parlays. What is a same game parlay? Here's how I lost in sports betting. Here's how I win in sports betting. Here's what works for me. Here's how to bet niche sports. Here's how to bet mainstream sports. Here's how to read an odds screen. All of it is there for you guys for free. So check it out. Hit that like button, subscribe, and the wealth of tools that's over at the Wager Talk page, wagertalk.com, is only getting better, Andy. We're actually in the process of working on a little bit something that I think folks are really going to enjoy. A one-stop shop where you can find things like openers versus closers against the spreads, first and second half splits, what teams cover in first quarter, all of that. We are going to have a one-stop shop for you. No paywall, nothing. WagerTalk.com. Comment below and let us know what kind of features you'd like in that, and we will include those. So, Andy, unless you have anything else, without further ado, I say we get to our man.
Look at Steve.
He said it. Don't worry, baby.
I was like, what color could he possibly not wear today? Because you're having me on for a second day, which is so gracious. And I'm so glad Andy wore that shirt because I knew not to. And there we go.
Andy was tempting him. He was tempting fate, because if there's one thing that Andy hates more than anything in the world, there have been multiple times when Andy and I come on with the same color, Steve, and Andy will go change before the show.
He did change the other
Andy
time.
Was tempting fate.
I didn't know he really disliked it, so now I might have to mess with him more.
Yes, as you should. But Steve, it's awesome, man. We got to talk to you last night. We kind of warned folks, hey, if you're worshiping at the altar of the Knicks 13-0 run, tread lightly this evening in Madison Square Garden. So we warned the folks yesterday. It's rare that we get you on back-to-back days. So let's kick off with that. Let's react to what we saw in Game 3, because I'm sure folks want to know your thoughts and how we'll apply it maybe with the look ahead to Game 4, and then we'll talk a little baseball action. 2 6:40 games Steve has for you, so you got time to get to them. But thoughts on last night, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I know you probably checked the comments as well after we record those videos. And I wish I had looked before we did Wager Talk Today yesterday on Monday. I looked right afterwards. We posted the video. I recorded it actually late Saturday night. We put it up on Sunday, and I didn't check it until 1 o'clock Eastern yesterday after Wager Talk. It already had about 15,000 views. And honestly, guys, in the hundreds and hundreds of videos I've done, I've never seen so much one-sided sure thing sentiment in a video ever. And I wish I'd gotten that about 30 minutes earlier, because I would have mentioned it here on Wager Talk Today. But this is another reason. Read the comments. I always talk about comment below. I reply back. I read them. I use them as well. And everybody and their brother and sister and their stepbrother were on the Knicks last night in the comments section. They were ripping me for liking the Spurs in the first couple games, which just took it to an extra level of contrarianness. And I had a best bet on the Spurs in the video. I had a best bet for my clients, and I was feeling even better about it after reading the comment section. I was feeling even better about it after the first quarter last night. Not so much after the second quarter, but I still wasn't worried. And the Spurs pulled ahead and won the game. You know, they've had double-digit leads in all 3 games. Something I forgot to mention in the video, or actually on the show yesterday, I might have mentioned in the video. Despite winning the first 2 games in the series, the Spurs still had the Knicks to their 2 lowest playoff totals this postseason, including that monster 13-game winning run. They scored 105 each time. Barely got over that last night. There's still some fundamental matchup problems for the Knicks, and had the Knicks not been plus 12 from three-point range in Game 2, they don't even win Game 2. And some of the other things crack me up in the comments. I'm talking about why sports bettors don't win long-term. How could you say this has been an evenly matched series? The Knicks are up 2-0. Wemby misses a shot. Otherwise, it's 1-1. Otherwise, it's 2-1 Spurs right now. So, yeah, it was a vast overreaction. Andy and I both talked about it yesterday here on the show that we thought the hoopla and the circus environment, the atmosphere might actually work against New York, and it definitely did. They were down, 7-0 out of the gate, down 11, 12 points in the first quarter. Once again, a myth of sports betting, right, is that home crowd energy, whatever. And I haven't dug in deep yet to Game 4. I'm going to record it this afternoon. We'll have it up tonight probably for Wednesday. But this series is not over. And the question I ask you now is, do we dare sprinkle a little on the Spurs series price? We could have got them at plus 350 last night. Is there still value for them to come back and win 3 of the next 4 games?
Time will tell, Steve. That is for sure. Steve will be breaking down Game 4 in its entirety for you. People are asking about the free right here on the channel. So make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe. Steve, let's talk 2 baseball games tonight. Both of them going at 640. I was going to start you off with the Dodgers and Pirates here simply because the Dodgers are a dog? That must be something happened, right? No, Skeens is pitching. But we have to let the New York Knicks fans wash the mouth and talk New York Yankees, because the Yankees get to face off here. They get the win in 10 innings last night. They get to play a team again here who's struggling a little bit in their last 5. But the big story, I think, Steve, in this one is, do you have positive regression to the mean for the Cleveland Guardians, who left 11 stranded? They went 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Whenever that happens, Steve, sometimes I like going back with that team, maybe looking towards their team total in the game after, because 0 for 11, that's a statistical anomaly that doesn't quite continue to replicate itself. But what do you think about this Yankees and Guardians game?
Yeah, I do like the left on base stat, because one thing I look at is hits and, basically offensive momentum, and runs is very misleading, because just because you're not scoring doesn't mean you're not putting the ball in play, you're not hitting the ball. And you obviously have to look over several games, because there are always going to be situations where you face a really good pitcher or a really bad pitcher in an individual game, and you should do better or worse based on that. But still, I do feel like Cleveland was better than just 5 runs. And if you look at that 10-inning loss yesterday against the Yankees, it was a high-scoring competitive game. And by the way, New York is without Aaron Judge. He's been out for the past week. They've gone 3-1 their last 4 games. They had scored 4 runs or less in 4 straight games, but now they've put up 13 runs in their last 2 games. And you look at the 2 starters tonight, Garrett Cole on the mound, 2.0 ERA, but he's only pitched 18 innings this year. He's had 3 starts so far. He's gone about 6 innings on average. He gave up no runs in the first 2 starts against the Rays and at the Royals, but then he did get hit hard actually by Cleveland 6 days ago. So this is a quick turnaround revenge spot for Garrett Cole. That is something I factor into handicapping as well. So a little bit of contradiction here. I do think Cleveland's offense is in decent form, as is the Yankees. But then again, Cole might bounce back tonight. We'll have to see. Cleveland did hit him hard in the last game. Let's not overthink it. No pun intended. We'll just look at the over here. I think both offenses can get some run even without Judge in the lineup. And if you're going to play this one, I would take a look at the over 8.5. And I talk about it all the time. I know I sound like a broken record, but 7 and 9 are key numbers. So whenever I get an 8.5, I'm always kind of looking for a reason to play an over, because if this game is 4-4, it doesn't land 8. It has to land 9 or more with extra innings. So over 8.5 minus $1.15, $1.20. I think both offenses can get it done tonight at 6:40 Eastern.
Over, according to Steve Merrill. We had a comment here from Seth. Can someone explain to me why the Dodgers are a dog with Skeens on the mound? Steve,
Question explained itself.
I mean, you answered your question.
Correct.
And then the only part he left out was Eric Lauer. That is why the Dodgers are a dog on the road in Pittsburgh against Skeens. It's really not as crazy as it sounds, and it's not like they're a huge plus money dog. I actually had to search around to find this price where you were actually getting plus money. Typically, we're seeing anywhere from, there are some plus 106s out there. So Pittsburgh showing some money, Steve, here. What are you thinking in this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, if this was the other way around, we'd be like, how can we get Paul Skeens as an underdog? People are like, how can you get the Dodgers as a dog? No matter who was a dog in this game, somebody would be questioning that. And then again, by the time this first pitch goes, it might be pick'em because it's about $1.15 right now. So it's very close to a pick'em price. This is a situation where you're getting the better team as a slight dog, yet you're getting one of the best pitchers in baseball as just a slight home favorite. And I know I say all the time that pitching doesn't go as far as it used to, and these guys only go half a game, and that offensive momentum is somewhat overrated. And that is true. But Skeens is a dominant pitcher, not quite as dominant as the last 2 years. And I say that because he had a 1.96 ERA in 24, 1.97 ERA last year, just a 2.83 ERA this season. And the reason really is because of a couple of mediocre starts in middle of May in which he gave up 9 runs in 10 innings against Philly and Toronto. He has since bounced back, giving up just 2 runs in the last 10 innings of work against the Cubs in Houston. Dodgers, obviously a dangerous offensive team, no question about it. And Skeens did face them twice last year, and he shut them out in 12 innings of work. So he has their number. In fact, this current Dodger lineup has hit just 210 against Skeens during his career. So I do like Skeens as a small favorite here. And then we mentioned the Eric Lauer factor. He was traded from Toronto a few weeks ago. He was 1-5 at Toronto. He pitched in 8 games, started 6 of them, and did not pitch well. He's now in LA. We'll see if this turns the season around for him. It's been a short sample so far as he started just 2 games for the Dodgers so far while being in Los Angeles. So I don't want to read too much into that. One was at home against Colorado. The other was in pitcher-friendly Arizona. He gave up 3 runs, 9 hits in 10.5 innings. So I do think he'll be a better pitcher with the Dodgers now, but he's nowhere close to the Skeens level. If you're going to play it, I would lay the short number with Paul Skeens minus $1.15. Never against getting one of the best pitchers in baseball at a pick'em price at home.
Boom. WT.buzz/SM. Steve, we've already stolen your tagline of $5 Tuesday being the best Tuesday of the week. What do you got rocking tonight for that $5 Tuesday? And as we head through the week, what else are you eyeing?
170 years ago, America declared $5 Tuesday, and it still exists to this day. That's a historical fact. By the way, if you go to England nowadays, you can't get $5 Tuesday. It was one of the underrated reasons the Revolutionary War happened 170 years ago. And we take advantage of it on this Tuesday, June the 9th, with a strong baseball best bet right now. And I've got a bonus free play on my page. And don't forget, the last cut, just a bit outside from being a best bet every day, goes up as a bonus free play. So if you're new to sports betting, if you're building your bankroll, take advantage of the daily free play with analysis, learn and earn. And then also take advantage of that $5 best bet today on $5 Tuesday. Instant 80% discount off the normal rate of $25 per play. Now, another option you might want to think about is the buy 3 days, get 3 days special. And look, you can buy it right now and then set the start date tomorrow on Wednesday. And that'll get you the next 6 days and nights through next Monday. And then you do $5 Tuesday. And then you do another 6-day special. And by the way, they're stackable. So don't wait for this special to expire in the near future. Buy multiple 6-day specials for just $69, dude, and stack them and then use them on each side of $5 Tuesday. You got yourself weekly packages. That's a nice little trick right there. Think about it. $69 for 6 days. It's normally 3 days for $69. It's buy 3, get 3 free. No promo code needed. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And of course, you can get to my page quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. And don't forget, Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tomorrow night on Wednesday. I'll have my free video, side, total, player props, everything you need up here later tonight on Wager Talk TV. So make sure you click subscribe and you click that bell for an instant alert so you never miss out when these free play videos are posted each and every day right here on the channel.
Steve, I did this with you once before. Show the $5 bill. I like to try and.
Yes, keep going. Boy, that sounded about $1.50. That sounded like $1.50 Wednesday. Come on now. Those silver dollars?
Just a few quarters. Just a few quarters.
I was right, Dan. It was about $1.50. I might have been exactly right.
Well done.
It's more than
well done.
$1.50, at least $2.
Hey, Hey, 2 scores ago, that would have gotten you like 5-6 video games. Now it gets you 1 video game.
Gives you 1 DLC.
Yeah,
I refuse to pay more than 25 cents to this day for a video game. Like you're occasionally find like the Galaga, and the Pac-Man. Galaga was always my game, Pac-Man, and You still get the 25-cent like tabletop ones, and man, you can go a while. That quarter will last you a good 5-10 minutes. Memories.
As long as you're good. As long as you're good, it'll last.
You got to get the
That's
double
true.
fighter. You got to get the double fighter in Galaga, and then you get the bonus fighter. You get an extra bonus fighter. That's the game.
Love it.
Half
Love
our
it.
viewing audience has never seen a 25-cent video game.
You're missing
Oh,
out.
I
And
just-
99% of them don't know what a score is. And I've never heard the term used anywhere except the Gettysburg Address, but it is 20 years for those that don't know how to use Google.
I bet the vintage arcade that's a hit. That's a huge hit. We have several of them here in Indianapolis. I go there with my dad and brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
time.
a brewery that has them actually. It's a
Yeah,
good brewery, local brewery. They have a
Arcade vibe.
Yeah, and they've got the
that's-
25, and they're actually a quarter. But their chicken wings
Awesome.
are the best in town. They're like $15 for 6 wings. So they get it back with the chicken wings. But
They
they
get
are
it.
delicious.
That's how they get you.
It is
how they
true.
get
And it's
you.
a very expensive food place, and it cracks me up because as you're waiting for your food, you can play video games for 25 cents. I'm like, something ain't right here.
How they get you.
how
That's
they get you.
awesome. Come for the Galaga, stay for the hot wings. Awesome stuff, Steve. Good luck on $5 Tuesday, brother. Thanks for joining us 2 days in a row.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
right, Dan.
WP.buzz/SM.
Got 2 episodes of the prop line that'll be up today. One is up now that's got your same game parlay of the day in the NHL game, and we're going to put up one. I'm going to put one up this afternoon to get you ready for the NBA game. Nice run on the same game parlays on that one. We hit the one last night, so we'll be coming back strong with that one. But let's do all around the world here. You give a couple of free plays to look at. This first one comes from Jeff Michaels. That's on the free picks page over at WagerTalk. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I found this one interesting because he is 11 for 26 against Garrett Cole. It's like odd. Like it's odd that somebody owns Garrett Cole, but Jose Ramirez like kind of does. So he's done this in 8 of his last 10 games. So a lot of good things going on with that one. And then we got to do a play in the NHL. Taking a look at William Karlsson over 1.5 shots on goal. This one is not going to make the card, but it's worth a look. I do have a $5 play that's up in NHL. We have one for NHL, one for MLB, and one for WNBA. Again, we went 3-0 last week on $5 Tuesday, so looking to do that again. But William Karlsson, he's gone over, believe it or not, in like 6 straight games. Obviously, he's gone over in each game this series. What the reason it's not a client play, he's only has 3, 2, and 3 shot attempts. So he's like super efficient, but just doesn't quite have the volume. So I don't know. If this goes to overtime, most of your shots on goal props are going to hit, but this one's just going to miss the card. But if you're looking for something in this game, William Karlsson could be a look. So, all right, Dan. That is it for Dinger Tuesday, $5 Tuesday. I mean, seriously, it's one of the best Tuesdays of the week, right?
It's the gift that keeps on giving, baby. Absolutely. So while you're hanging out, folks, hit that like button, subscribe. We appreciate you. Comment below. Let us know. If you have any World Cup questions, we'll answer them because Wednesday, final day before the start of the tournament on Thursday. So if you want to get any futures in, let us know. I'd be more than happy to kick them around. And we'll have guests like Jesse, like Brian Power, who they're capping some of the best soccer cappers in the world. So it won't just be me giving my opinions, but I like our shot in this tournament as well, Andy. I think we're pretty well prepped to cash in.
Love it as well. If you're an all-access client, as soon as the show's over, we're putting up a cricket play that goes off in an hour. So look out for that and go grab this $5 Tuesday plays. Thanks so much for watching. Every handicapper at WagerTalk can put up a play for $5. Get as many as you want. Bet responsibly, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Take care.